Hi, thank you for choosing to watch Pablo and Kids. I'm your DJ, Kangye, and today I would like to talk about one of the latest trends that has been going on, gaming. Gaming started in around the 1970s and 1980s through arcade machines and Game Boys. The top companies were things like Nintendo, of which they brought the Switch these days. A long time ago, they used to play on giant panels using machines almost the size of a refrigerator. After that, other companies started to pick on later on in the early 2000s, like Microsoft introducing the Xbox, Sony introducing the PlayStation and the PSP, and Sega also releasing its own games. These games were games like God of War, games like Grand Theft Auto, Halo, and even Capcom games like Resident Evil. All these games started small, and then one of the biggest things dropped, the PS1, the PS Saga. The PlayStation revolutionized certain games and brought their own games to it. They brought Resident Evil, they brought Grand Theft Auto. And one of the funniest things is Grand Theft Auto 5 was released in 2013 and did not release any other games to this day. Fans of Grand Theft Auto have played that game for about, let's say, the last 11 years. Funny how they've been waiting, and now the newest game, Grand Theft Auto 6, which is going to just be so graphical that I don't even think anyone younger than 18 can play it, is going to be released in 2025, but you can't really know because it has been waited for 11 years. But then there are games that were popularized for certain genres. God of War reached its genre in single-player games. Ratchet and Clank was kind of like a kid's game. There was also one of the greatest ones, Super Mario. I can't even name all the Super Mario games, but there was Mario, there was Bowser, there was Luigi. It was just an entire saga that went on. And then there was Metal Gear. Metal Gear was fiction mixed with action, and it was just popularized. It was such a good game that they even made remakes of it. Same thing with Resident Evil. Resident Evil was more like popularized in its genre. It was a very big one because not a lot of games had horror inside them. Resident Evil was probably one of the only ones that was reached mainstream as a horror game. But then there were other games like Forza Horizon from an Asphalt 8, and then there was also Need for Speed. There was Need for Speed as well. And then came another company that would revolutionize games forever. Their name was Ubisoft. Ubisoft created games like Ghost Recon Wildlands, the whole Ghost Recon series. They also recreated things from Tom Clancy, which were written as books at first. All of these games were very pricey games, but at least you could get what you wanted. The graphics were very well, the story was very well. It was fine-tuned to a good point. So then reached a point where guys on the internet would say, hey, Xbox or PlayStation. And then PlayStation outnumbered them a lot. And then PS4 dropped. PS4 just changed the news and brought people to a standstill. Once they saw the graphics on the PS4 and everything else the PS4 had to offer, they agreed it was the best console. And Nintendo came as well with the Nintendo Switch, one of the first portables that the same company had created, the Game Boy, which was popularized around the 1970s and 1980s. A Game Boy, but more graphical, and you could actually remove the remote of this thing and use it like it's Bluetooth. But you wouldn't have to actually connect Bluetooth because they were just tuned to be together from the first day. So they were called Joy-Cons. Now there are all kinds of weird names in the video games. So there were joysticks. One of the things that perplexed a lot of players was press L3 or R3, which were the right buttons of a joystick. So some of us would reach a point, you're playing a game, they say press L3 or R3, and you don't even know where those are. And then more game companies came, like Epic Games. Epic Games brought the biggest game of these years so far, that may or may have not reached the top of one of the other biggest selling games, which was Grand Theft Auto 5. One thing about Grand Theft Auto 5 is that they sold about more than 1 million copies on the first day that the game was released. That's how famous they were. But then Epic Games brought a game that almost every kid knows now, Fortnite. Now Fortnite was kind of like another game which was called Roblox. Now in these games, creators would make games of their own choosing, using code and software. So when they would create these games, you would just go onto the app, and it was like a portal to enter other creators' games. Some games that most people liked was probably Block Shoots, or let's say Blade Ball or Brookhaven, all those that almost every kid in 2020 played. Then there was also another game that popularized because of multiplayer. It was also called Among Us. Among Us was like astronauts in a spaceship, and you're trying to find who the imposter is. That gave you a bit like 10 players per match, yeah. And then there were other multiplayer games like Call of Duty. Call of Duty was known for its very rush environment. Let's say if you're playing with a team, it's very toxic if you miss a kill or you lose. So even just being toxic with all the other players, once you just lose like this, you just go crazy. And then people started recording themselves playing the games. People like, let's say, Ninja. There are people like Nick A30, and there are other people of that sort. All of them used YouTube or Twitch when YouTube was being popularized in those days. So there was also another game that was one of the greatest, in the same line with Mario and GTA. It was called Minecraft. Minecraft was a game that even guys over 30 were playing. It was such a good game. It was so relaxing, but also could get you in toxic situations. There were streamers who used to stream that. People like Dream, people like one of the most popular ones. There were people who used to stream it. One of the most popular ones was probably Dream, who was famous for doing speedruns in the game. A speedrun is basically where you try to do things in the fastest way possible. Let's say, like, if you want to collect loot, you collect it as fast as possible. So they literally put a timer and time themselves. There was also, at one point, Fortnite went and had its own World Cup, which is very funny in my way. I didn't even know about it for some time, yet I played the game. So Fortnite's World Cup, you won at least more than, let's say, $100,000. Yeah. So you are crowned the best Fortnite player in the entire world. You might ask yourself, why do people play games like that? Well, it has its advantages. Like, when you play games that need you to have a heightened sense of focus, it helps you with your concentration. It also helps with hand-eye coordination if you play with a controller, or any point at which you don't have to look at your hands. And it can also help you with your reflexes. And basically make you more aware of your surroundings. But like most things, it does have its disadvantages. And one of the disadvantages is spending too much time on it can cause you to become a dopamine addict. Dopamine is like, let's say, it's like adrenaline, but it's inside of you, and if you get too much of it, it doesn't go very well. That's why there's actually a very funny gamer phrase in which people tell gamers to go and touch grass when they've played too much. So if a gamer is told to go and touch grass, it means just get off the game and first do something more productive, like read a book. Now, when it comes to gaming, there's a lot of things to rule out that are bad. Some things may not seem as bad as others to the gamers, but they may seem bad to the people who know about them. There's toxicity. Toxicity rides in a lot of games, especially if you have your chat switched on. Now, toxicity is like when when you're in the game, but someone is very toxic all through when you're doing something. Like, let's say you're playing Call of Duty. Call of Duty has a very toxic network, but it's still a good game if you switch off the party chat. But Call of Duty's toxicity is the kind that someone will literally shout on their mic against you when you kill them in the game. Even Fortnite. But Fortnite is just bringing in party chat after some time because of toxicity. But then these games have found ways to remove this stuff. Like, they can ban you actually. Even PlayStation can ban you from your own PlayStation, which is very ironic. With that, you should also keep your security information on the game to yourself, because there are hackers there who can actually, if you make them angry, can actually tell you your location, which telling you your own location wouldn't just scare you. It would make you want to call the police, because if someone knows your exact location, they can now do anything that they could possibly think of to you.
Silverfin Academy paid host to over 420 swimmers from 25 clubs for their 4th edition of the swimming pentathlon at Kampala Parents School, Naguru, on Saturday, 11th May 2024. The 4th edition of this Silverfin Pentathlon Invitational Gala was exciting and interesting. The event started with warm-ups at 6 a.m. and the competition kicked off at exactly 9 a.m. The swimmers were in good shape and seemed perfectly ready for the competition. It's called a pentathlon because each contestant takes part in 5 events. It's a competition that tests every entrant's balance in 4 strokes and the individual medley. Swimmers earn points per race and the reward for their cumulative total after 5 races. For the 9 to 10-year-old boys, Christian Buisho dominated, topping in all races apart from the 50-meter backstroke, where he finished behind Hill Preparatory's Ibrahim Lule.
So what I want to say to all the children out there is to join swimming and have fun. Even if it may be hard, but you should try and make your best. Like me, I was the worst in my career of swimming, but now I'm now the best.
Individual entrant Aya Adams and Tizon Tamani were more dominant in 6 to 8-year-old girls and boys group respectively. In 11 to 12 years, Jaguars Zara Mbanga, Gators Abdul Hakim Sek were barely challenged as they ran off with maximum points.
It's very important for kids to have to learn water safety and be able to survive in water just in case of anything. So mainly with the little kids, it's more of fun and being water safe.
Swimming has been proven to have so many values. The first one is just physical fitness, and then we know that definitely the mental and emotional fitness is a bonus. And then kids are really super disciplined. The children who swim know how to manage their time. They know when they do training. They know when they do everything else. They know how to balance their time. There are also children who get opportunities. Like, we have swimmers who have got scholarships, who have got opportunities, internships in companies because they do swim. So there are numerous benefits, and I really would urge all the parents out there to get their children to swim, to engage in swimming.
The teams that participated in the competition include Aqua Key Swim Club, Basaline Swim Club, Dolphin Swim Club, Kampala, Gators Swim Club, Gliders Swim Club, Hill Preparatory School, Dolphin Swim Club, International School of Uganda, Jaguar Swim Club, Mark Sharks, Mako Sharks, Monday Swim Club, Mermaid Swim Club, Olympia Swim Club, Otters Swim Club, Osprey Swim Club, Sailfish Swim Club, Silverfin Academy, Flashers School of Swimming, Stallion Swim Club, Torpedoes Swimming Club, Vine Grace Swimming Club, Whale Swimming Academy.
But also to deal with success, to manage failure. Swimming is good because it also helps you as an individual to use these life skills. So I would like to encourage the children who don't know how to swim to find a way of learning how to swim. As the Uganda Swimming Federation, we're working with all our different clubs to have learn to swim programs, and Silverfin is one of those clubs that do a great job in helping people how to learn how to swim.
There will be more fascinating performances at the upcoming National Club Championship in June 2024.